of my choosing, a magazine that makes sense to talk about who I am. So I chose the Surfer magazine. When you do find a magazine, try to find one that is a pretty big size. So sometimes you'll see on Google search, image search, like 300 by 400. That's not quite big enough. You want something in the thousands if you can, pixels. So I found one here on the internet. You could also take a picture of one if you get a really clean, well-balanced picture, or you can bring it into school and scan the magazine. We can scan it here, and then you'll have a good, nice, high-resolution picture to work with. So once you have that picture, you'll want to open up Photoshop, and that should be down here in your dock. If it's not in your dock, you go to Go, maybe, and then in Go here is Applications, and then you can go look in your Applications folder here to find Photoshop. These computers are super slow, but here it is, Adobe. Here's all the Adobe stuff, and here's Photoshop, and then here is the one that we're working with. If it's not in your dock, you can just grab it from here and put it in your dock, and that way it's easy to get to because we're going to be using it a bunch. So, so you want to open up Photoshop, and if it's not open yet, it's all right. And then I'm going to go back to that folder that I was just in that had my picture in it, and I'm going to take my picture, and I am just going to drop it right on the Photoshop in my dock. Pop. Or if I'm in Photoshop, I could go File, Open, and I can go find that that picture. So I drop right there, boom, here I have this picture. Now, how do I make this a magazine cover about me? So what I'm going to do is this is going to be Surfer Magazine. So I am going to press W, and I get this magic wand. Notice how over here on the left the magic wand shows up. So you can just select it over here by clicking on it, but I like to press W because I want to be fast. Now, this is the magic wand tool. This is a way to select. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to try to select this text. That's the main text for the magazine cover. And so what I'm going to do, the magic wand, it chooses the color that I click on, and all of the other things that are that color will be selected as well. Unless I click on this. So if I do not contiguous, then it'll select all of the black things. Notice everything that's black, or that's within this tolerance. I don't want all of this stuff. I just want this thing that says Surfer right here. So I'm going to do deselect, which is Command D, or you can go to Select, Deselect, either one. Now I'm going to, I'm still on the magic wand, and I'm going to click contiguous, which means that only the things that are touching this black area are going to be selected. Now I'm going to hold Shift, and you can see how my magic wand gets a little plus button, or just a little plus underneath it. So when I hold the Shift, so I'm going to click, hold the Shift, click, click, all the way through here. Now I notice I'm zooming in by holding Option and just scrolling with my mouse. That's how I'm zooming in. There are there are other ways to zoom as well, but I'm noticing that some of this stuff didn't get selected because there's something going on with the title. So I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to select that stuff as well. I'm going to come out, come back in. I'm just going to select these guys too, because I want all of that. Just a little bit more. All right, I think that's enough for this example. So you want this to be nice and clean. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this title and I'm going to make a new layer where that title is going to go. So I'm going to keep all of this selected, and then I'm going to go down here to the right, and down here it says create new layer. So I'm going to create a new layer. So now I want to still be on the layer that has the magazine on it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy what I have selected, and I'm going to do that by doing Command C, or you can find Edit Copies in here, Command C. So I'm going to go Command C, and then in order to paste it, I'm going to do Command V, and that's just going to create a new layer, I think, and that's where, yeah, it creates a whole new layer. I forgot about that. So, so I created a whole new layer, and that's where I pasted what I just selected. So if I don't show my original magazine, I can see, oh look, I pasted my new title here on this new layer. And I'm going to name this layer title. Okay, now I have my title, and now I want my pictures of myself in it. And so what I'm going to do is I already have a picture set up, and this is a picture that my buddies and I took when we were in Oahu a couple years ago. And so I'm going to grab this, and notice how I have this layer that's underneath the title layer. So the title, there's going to be the title on top, and then my picture is going to drop right on this layer. And so I'm just going to drop my picture right in this area here, and there's my picture eventually. All right, it's going to show up. Now, just ignore Mr. V without a shirt on. It's okay. Now, when I change the size of this picture, notice what happens if I just grab the edge. It gets all squished and squashed. What I need to do in order to maintain the dimensions is hold Shift. So if I hold Shift, then my picture scales appropriately and it doesn't get all squished and gross. If I hold Shift and Option, it expands even quicker from the middle. So I'm just going to hold Shift and Option because that's the kind of the fastest way. And then I'm going to move this around. And then in order to get this selection stuff done or gone, I need to press Enter, Return. And so that'll do the scaling stuff there. So now I've got my title and I've got my picture back here. Now notice on my picture, oh, it created a new layer again. I've got this weird little like paper or something, this thing, and what that does is it shows me that this is a certain kind of element, and I want it to not be that kind of an element because it won't let me manipulate it the way that I want to. So I have this empty layer underneath. I'm just going to hold Shift, and I'm going to have both of these layers selected, and then I'll do Layer, Merge Layers, or I could probably do this rasterize that layer and that would be fine, but I'm going to do Layer, Merge Layers, which is Command E. So I'm going to do that. I don't even see it here. Oh, there it is, Merge Layers down at the bottom. So Command E, I'm used to just using Command E. So, and now that little thing is gone. And so now I can do stuff with this picture that I might not be able to. So otherwise. So I might want to change some of my, I might want to change some brightness or contrast, or I just might want to just make the picture change some of the values here. And this is stuff we'll look at later, but here's a little kind of a preview. And so look, I've changed my picture so that it looks I don't know, a little bit better. Now, the last thing you need to do for this assignment is to create some titles here. So we have the main title, and then there's these other things on a magazine that kind of tell you what's inside the magazine. So we need to do that. So the way we do that is we go to, I just do Command T for type, not type, sorry. I just press T is, sorry, I pressed T for type and now it doesn't want to do anything. All right, so I press T for type, and then you can see now I have a type layer here, cursor, and when I click somewhere, like up here, then it's going to create a whole new type layer, and I can type something like Mr. V's Oahu trip on the top. And so now you can't see this, right? Because it's white on white. And so what you need to do here is I have my type layer selected, and I need to go to type, and I want to look at my, view, window, goodness, character, and that gives me all of these options for my type. Here's the color of my type right here, and I'm just going to change it to black. One way to change it to black is just say 000 6 times, and it changes it to black. And like I can see, I misspelled this, so I'm going to go T. Mr. V's Oahu trip. There it is. I think I'm going to take that space out of there. There we go. All right, so there's one title, and I want like at least 3 or so. Let me show you how to do a title, another title. So I'm going to press T again. Here I am. I'm going to do a title down here at the bottom. And we'll just say leopard sharks at South Jetty. So a couple weeks ago we saw leopard sharks at South Jetty for the first time, and that was pretty cool. So now I'm going to put this down here. I can't see it very well, right? It's black on all of this other stuff. So sometimes in magazines I'm going to change this back to white by pressing F 6 times, or you can just click white up here. Oh, did I do it 5 times, 6 times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Sometimes on magazines they have, that looks a lot better, but sometimes I want to show you how to make like a black background on this. So I'm going to click new layer and make sure it's underneath the leopard sharks layer, and then I am going to make a selection, and I'm going to make kind of a box down here, and so it's on this layer, and then I'm going to change the color to black right here for the foreground, and then I'm going to use this paint bucket and dump black paint on that layer, in that selection. And then I'm going to do Command D for deselect, and now I have a title up here, and I have this title down here, and maybe I should make one more title. And for this other title, I'm going to kind of keep it the same as this one. I'm going to make it look just like this one. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both of these layers here. I'm going to drag them onto this new layer button. And when I do, it's going to make a copy. And so now I've got 2 of these leopard sharks and 2 of these black backgrounds. And I have one set selected. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one set. I'm going to hold shift and just bring it up a little bit. And then I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to push T, and I'm going to make up some other thing. Let's see. Mr. V sucks in his fat gut. But let's keep it all upper title case here. All right. There we go. Now this looks like it's kind of sticking out too far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the both of those layers, and I'm going to move them here like that, so they're kind of lined up here, and that looks pretty good. So that is the magazine assignment. There's a ton of stuff that I just showed you, so there's a lot going on. So take this video nice and slowly, work on it, and just take your time getting through and following all of the things that you need to do to be successful on this assignment. And good luck.